Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the vlog. Well, today is going to be the epilogue. Is that right? Epilogue? Ending of this story. God, I hate it. But I think I did a pretty good job explaining all the sections of it. That's even right to say that. So this is going to blow your mind. This story has never been told. It's never been in the papers. I don't know why. I don't know why there was never been a documentary about that guy and what he did on that March of 1979. I don't know why. I don't know why. So, okay, we did all the parts up until the last video where he was sentenced to 90 years, never can get out, died in jail. He only did 7 years for 3 murders, and then he died of AIDS. What happened? Terrible death. He died a slow, horrible death with nobody. So if you guys remember in part 1 or part 2, where I told you that Marsha was estranged from her dad. She didn't like him. He was like a real prick. From what I heard during the 4 years of this investigation that went by this fellow right here. His name is Dennis Callow. Boy, he was so young. He was the first assistant prosecutor, homicide prosecutor in Bergen County, New Jersey from 1982 to 1992 to 1990 when he went into private practice. And I think now he's retired. So the father and the grandfather of Harold, he primarily murdered his daughter and his grandson, and he knew it. Now, backing up, when the investigation started to come up with all the facts, of course, the one fact is they asked Brian, do you have an insurance policy? Yep, I sure do. Just took it out 4 months ago. Wow, wasn't I lucky? Boy, did I hit a home run when I called that shot. So, whoop, that's a red flag right there. And then anyway, they found out. They found out early on, within the first week, they knew he killed him, and they knew he had an insurance policy. And in one of the newspapers, I think it was the Bergen Record, it said what life insurance company it was. Anyway, Dennis picks up the phone and said, do not pay that claim. I think that the claimant, the insured, is in fact the murderer. On all 3 policies, do not pay that fucking claim. And when you don't have to tell an insurance company twice that don't pay the claim, because they don't want to pay that claim anyway. I know, I worked for insurance companies for 20 years. So anyway, they didn't deny the claim. They just put it on hold until the investigators cleared him of any wrongdoing concerning the murders and the insurance fraud with our boy King Farouk. And I really thought he was like from medieval times, but that guy was born in 1920 and died in 1965. And that guy did, well, I'm not going to go there, but he looked kind of gay to me. I showed you the picture on the other video. So maybe that was his idol from the past. He owned the ring that was once owned by King Farouk. Okay, so now the insurance company isn't paying. 1 year goes by, 2 years goes by, 3 years go by. At this point, Brian Molese is desperate for money. He's on the phone with Detective Frank Del Preti from the Bergen County Sheriff's Office, and he's trying to convince him for all of these years to, I didn't do it, please tell the insurance company that so I can get paid off. As he's having these telephone conversations with Frank Del Preti, Frank is talking about the case, and so Brian, anytime you're accused or you're suspected of committing a crime, the first thing you do is keep your mouth shut and do not talk to the police. So, and of course, Brian knew that, but Brian thought he was smarter than everybody, right? He thought he's smarter than everybody and he can handle this. And he's got to talk to this, he's got to convince this cop that he didn't have anything to do with this, so he would release the funds. He called up the insurance company and said, okay, he's no longer a suspect. We don't think he killed them. Now pay the claim. That would never happen. 4 years go by. So now Alice has nobody, so nobody's claiming that money. And now the next of kin for Marsha and Harold is, of course, that scumbag father of ours and the grandson of Harold. Now he wants that money, but he can't get it because Brian was the executor, and now both of the victims have been murdered, and now he's the beneficiary. So the insurance company cannot pay the father until the police say he's no longer a suspect. So what do you think that piece of shit did? What do you think he did? He made a deal with Brian Molese for $8,000. He paid his daughters and grandson's murderer. Now, there was no question in anybody's mind at this point that Molese was guilty. The walls are coming down and he's going to be arrested in 1993, I think it was, 1983. Brian needs money, and the old man wants that insurance policy. He wants that check. That prick, father, Frering, his name was, paid his daughter and his grandson's murderer $8,000 so that Molese would waive his rights to that insurance claim. And he did. He did. He did. Now there's just, wow, that blows my, and don't forget, back then in Bergen County, you could have walked in and with a gun. This guy was like pushing fucking 80. He could have went in with a gun and blew that motherfucker's brains out, just like I could have when I moved the bench in front of the elevator. Could have popped him one right then. What the fuck are they gonna do to him? He's 80 years old. But that's not what happened. But the best part of this story, I'm gonna tell right now. The best part of this story. You know what? I'm not gonna tell it right now. It has to do with Mad Dog Sullivan was involved in this scheme, but he had nothing to do with the murders. And we're gonna get into that one on the next video. What did Mad Dog do to Brian Molese? Will blow your mind again. This is like unbelievable. That's coming on the next one. So until then, thank you guys for liking and subscribing, the ones that do. And the other ones, come on, man, push the button. You're making me look good. I should have 3 million friggin' subscribers, or so they tell me. Anyway, see you guys on the next one.